Welcome to a journey to explore remote seas, where Japanese fishermen are facing big waves, scorching sun and harsh weather every day to catch giant tuna with purse seine nets. This is a fishing method that requires smooth coordination, high technique and outstanding endurance, but brings huge yields and great economic efficiency. On ships tens of meters long, equipped with modern radar systems, long-range fish finders and large nets hundreds of meters long. Fishermen depart from the port when it is still dark. They carry the hope of encountering the right school of oceanic tuna migrating through the area. The ships leave the port in the dark, leaving behind sparkling lights, gradually moving out into the vast ocean. Once in the fishing area, the captain will use a detector to locate the tuna school. This is not simple, because tuna move very quickly and often in large schools. They have to rely on experience, combined with signals from other ships or information from satellites to accurately locate the area. Once the fish flow is determined, the entire fleet immediately gets into position. The process of dropping the purse seine begins. Tons of nets are slowly lowered into the sea. This is not a normal net, but a circular net system, surrounding the entire school of fish. First, the ship drops the main line that runs around the school of fish in a circle. On the main line are deep nets that can be up to 250 meters long, and more than 50 meters high from the water surface. This process requires absolute technique and precision, because if the circle is not closed, the tuna will escape. When the net circle is completed, the ship drops the submerged net below to form a dense wall that completely surrounds the school of fish. Then, the net retrieval process begins. The hydraulic winches operate at full capacity, rolling the net round by round. When the net is pulled back, the tuna begin to gather in the center. The large fish, weighing from 50 to 150 kilograms, struggle violently, creating a chaotic scene under the bustling water. This is the most stressful stage. The fishermen have to observe the situation and adjust the speed of the net so that the fish do not die or get too injured, which affects the quality of the fish meat when sold to the market. Large nets are lowered, catching each group. Of fish and transferring them to the deck. Some fish are too large and have to be lifted by crane. The fish that have just been brought onto the ship will be slaughtered immediately using the akejimi technique, a traditional method that helps the fish die quickly and keeps the meat fresher. The fishermen perform the operation very quickly, stabbing the fish's brain to kill it, then inserting a steel wire into the spinal cord to paralyze the body. The whole process only takes a few seconds, but requires absolute precision. After slaughtering, the tuna are cleaned. The organs are removed and washed with cold seawater. They are then transferred to a storage compartment with thick ice. Some modern ships also have a quick freezing system, cooling the fish to -60°C within minutes, preserving the quality of live fish. Just like that, within a few hours, the entire ship's hold is full of tuna, one of the most valuable commercial fish in the world. The big, fat fish with silvery blue skin are the pride of the whole team. Some are even auctioned at the Tsukiji fish market for tens of thousands of dollars each. After finishing the catch, the fishermen quickly clean the deck, check the nets and machinery to prepare for the next catch. If the weather is good and there is a large fish population, they can drop the net 3 or 4 times a day. Each time, dozens of tons of fish are brought to the deck, the result of a well-coordinated system between humans and machines. Behind each tuna are hours of hard work, sweat, and constant vigilance by the entire team. Purse net tuna fishing is more than just a job, it is a life. A passion that has seeped into the flesh and blood of the fishermen in the sea. They consider tuna as part of their soul, something that has fed their families and nurtured their fishing villages for generations. Not every trip is smooth sailing. There are days when the wind is strong and the waves are big. The whole fleet has to anchor in the middle of the sea to wait for the weather to stabilize. Sometimes the bait is thick. The net is placed in the right position, but the fish suddenly move, leaving the net empty. Each failure is a lesson, but also a motivation for the fishermen not to give up. On the boat, each person has a clear role. One person operates the winch. One supervises the net. One specializes in stabbing the fish with a steel tip. One is responsible for slaughtering and preserving. They operate like a synchronized, rhythmic machine. No one is allowed to be negligent. Just a small mistake can ruin a catch worth hundreds of millions of dong. At night, the ship's lights shine on the sparkling sea. The fishermen sit around a simple meal: white rice, dried fish, fish sauce and a few slices of cucumber. It is a rare moment for them to rest, chat, tell old stories and discuss plans for tomorrow. Even in the middle of the vast ocean, they still maintain an optimistic spirit and believe in a prosperous tomorrow. The journey to catch tuna with a net is not just a job, it is an art. From determining the ocean currents, monitoring the sea temperature, analyzing sonar signals, to how to cast the net, adjusting the speed of the catch, everything must be precise. Fishermen are not only manual workers, but also experts on the ocean. People who understand the language of the ocean. When the ship returns to port, the fish are brought to the processing plant or transferred directly to large fish markets. Many tuna that meet export standards are packaged and transported by plane to countries such as the US, Japan, and Korea, where consumers are willing to pay high prices for quality fresh fish. And the fishermen, after a few short days of rest, continue their new journey. The sea is still there, great, fierce but also full of promise. They bring with them hope, courage and simple dreams, a full catch of fish, a child going to university, a new home for their parents. And the sea, like a friend, a teacher, a challenger, will always welcome them back, no matter what tomorrow brings. The world is changing every day, but the tuna purse seine fishing profession still retains its traditional values. Despite new technology and modern machinery, the heart of the profession is still the people who are willing to stay up all night, wade in the salty wind to bring fresh fish to life. They are the ones who keep the fire burning for the sea, the ones who silently extend the thread between people and the ocean. And when a new day begins, when the dawn just appears on the horizon, the boats cut through the waves and set sail. That cycle continues, like the heartbeat of the ocean, like a wordless symphony but filled with love and aspiration with each trip. Fishermen not only bring back fish but also experience, knowledge and pride. That is why, despite all the hardships, they continue to be attached to the sea as if it were a predestined relationship. Some people have been at sea since they were 15 years old. Now their hair is gray, but they still consider the ship as their second home. In large and small seaports, children are born seeing their fathers attached to the sea. They grow up with the sound of ship engines, the salty smell of salt and the weight from their mothers every time their fathers go to sea. Those children later become the next generation, young sailors who are not afraid of storms. Learn how to steer the ship, how to cast nets, how to read the sea. Tuna is not only food, but also a cultural symbol, the soul in the lives of fishermen in many coastal areas. In Japan, the Tuna Festival is held annually to honor this precious fish and those who sweat for it. Tuna appears in meals, in weddings, in worship ceremonies, and in folk songs. The melt-in-your-mouth tuna sashimi is the crystallization of effort, time, and love for the profession. Today, many conservation organizations and seafood businesses are working with fishermen to catch tuna more sustainably. Positioning technology, production control, and size limits on caught fish are being put into practice. Undersized fish are released back into the sea, and spawning areas are restricted from exploitation, to protect resources for future generations. This transition is not easy, but fishermen understand that if they do not change, the sea will dry up, and their children will have nothing to go to sea. They learn how to use fish tracking apps, learn about modern hydrometeorology, and even attend specialized seminars to improve their knowledge. Calm mornings or stormy nights, all are deeply imprinted in the memories of seafarers. Every callus on their hands, every drop of salt water rolling down their cheeks, tells a wordless story of endurance and love for their job. For them, the sea is not only a place to make a living, but also a place where they belong. Tuna, a strong fish that migrates thousands of kilometers, reflects the image of fishermen resilient, persistent and never stopping. Just as tuna never sleeps, fishermen are also constantly aspiring, constantly reaching further, exploring new seas, finding new horizons. One day, when you enjoy a slice of fresh tuna, remember that behind that delicious taste is a journey, from the deep blue ocean, through calloused hands, to the warm dining table. And every time you look out to sea, somewhere, there is a small boat quietly drawing lines on the waves. With silent heroes living their passion. One day, when you enjoy a slice of fresh tuna, remember that behind that delicious taste is a journey, from the deep blue ocean, through calloused hands, to the warm dining table. And every time you look out to sea, somewhere, there is a small boat quietly drawing a path on the waves. With silent heroes living their passion, fishermen are not just workers. They are master observers. They read the clouds and predict the wind. Listen to the sound of the waves to know the changing water currents. Look at the seabirds to deduce the location of the fish. Each of these skills cannot be learned in books, but can only be accumulated over time, through failure and success. On rough sea days, sometimes the whole fleet has to stop in the middle of thousands of meters deep water, waiting for the waves to calm down. On nights like these, people gather in small cabins, sip hot tea, and tell each other stories of the past, encounters with giant fish, breathless net pulls, or even unfulfilled dreams. On a ship in the middle of the ocean, the distance between humans and nature seems to be erased. Fishermen live by the rhythm of the waves, sleep when the sea allows, and wake up when the fish appear. They are attached to the sea like farmers are attached to their fields, are close. Quiet but extremely profound relationship. One of the biggest challenges in the tuna fishing profession is preserving the quality of the fish when brought onto the ship. Temperature, freezing speed, cleaning time, all must be strictly followed. Fish that are bruised, lose blood or are not handled promptly will immediately lose value. Therefore, each member on board is an important link in the quality chain. There are ships equipped with mini laboratories to test the freshness, pH and protein levels in fish meat. These advanced technologies help Japanese tuna maintain its position in the international market, not only thanks to its large output but also thanks to its superior quality. It is impossible not to mention the solidarity factor. A successful fishing team is not simply due to the abundance of fish or good machinery, but because they understand each other, support each other and work as a unified unit. In the fishing industry,